Hey, what's up guys? It's me, Eric B, and welcome back to the channel. And I know it's been a hot minute since I've done anything with the RC8, but in this video, we're going to be talking about a few things that I like and dislike about this bike. And without further ado, let's just go ahead and jump right into it. Alright, so it's been a little while since you guys heard a nice startup from this thing. Yeah, I still got to get the exhaust on it, guys. So, that will be coming at some point. Let's go. Alright, so I'm starting to get used to the bike now and everything. I mean, this thing's a freaking beast. Got the quick shifter on it, of course. Loving it, loving it. Alright, so let's talk about the things that I like about this bike first. And the first thing is going to be the looks. The design and the styling of this bike is awesome. I love the way this thing looks. The sharp lines, how aggressive it is, and it's kind of a bike that's not for everybody. I mean, it has a love or hate it design, but it's my bike. I personally like it. And looks are subjective. Like I said before, it's not for everybody. Now, I will agree, I think the front end looks a little weird, and I wish they would have changed it over the years, when this bike was still in production, but it is what it is. But other than that, guys, I really love the way that this thing looks. Alright, the second thing is definitely going to be the V-twin power and the adjustability of this bike. So, this thing has a ton of torque compared to my R6 when I had it. Go down to second gear here. Yeah, this thing gets up and moves. So this thing has 90 foot-pounds of torque. So that V-twin torque, man, when you give it the beans, it kicks in and moves. And you really gotta, pay attention to what you're doing with this thing, because it doesn't have any electronics, it doesn't have ABS, it doesn't have power modes or traction control or anything like that. So this really is kind of a rider's bike, I guess. And the thing is just, it can be scary at times, but you just, as long as you respect the power and pay attention to what you're doing, you should be fine. It also has some good tires as well. But yeah, a little bit different from, what I'm used to with, a normal 4-cylinder bike. But the V-twins, man, they just got some oomph. And the sound's not too bad either. I do need to get an exhaust. I know that's coming soon. Yeah, overall, loving it. Alright guys, and the third thing I like about this bike is how unique it is and the rareness of it. You do not see these bikes on the road very often. Like, I've never seen one until now, until I've gotten one. And a lot of people say the same thing. I pull up somewhere, and a lot of people are like, what kind of bike is that? That's the first time I've ever seen one in person. But yeah, I mean, that's another reason why I got this. I didn't want to be like everyone else. Everyone's got R1s and S1000RRs and all that stuff. Not saying that those bikes aren't awesome, because I actually wanted an R1 or an S1000, but I decided to go a little bit different route and wanted to be a little bit different. So here we are. And I forgot to mention, guys, when I was talking about the power, is the adjustability of this bike. So the subframe and the rear sets from the factory on this bike are adjustable, so you can move the subframe up or down to make it more aggressive or not. You can also change the rear sets a little bit, and I think you can even move the position on the shifter and stuff like that as well, which is pretty cool, because this bike was basically built to be on the track. And you even have lap timers and stuff like that on here, within the display and everything. And I do need to get this thing to the track. I was supposed to do that with my R6. I never got around to it, but hopefully I can do that with this bike, and I think it'll be pretty awesome. But yeah, overall guys, man, I am loving this bike so far. And that was just a few things that I like about it. I'm sure there's more, but really those are the big three things that I have. And let's go ahead and talk about the dislikes. So the first thing is going to probably be the throttle with this. So it's really touchy. And there's no really way to adjust it or anything, because there's no power modes or anything like that. So this thing is either on or off. Like, you got to be really careful. Like, if you're just sitting here and you accidentally hit a bump or something like that, or kind of move it a little bit, you know, it kind of throws you around. So just got to be careful. I am wondering though, if I get some sort of tune on this, if they can smooth out the throttle, and that might fix it. And the other thing is, you know, coming from my R6, it was a little bit more smooth. This bike is rough. Like, I mean, it's really raw, you know what I'm saying? Just down low and the lower RPMs and everything, like, everything shakes and rattles and everything, and you can feel all the vibrations. But I mean, hey man, this thing is a monster, so I don't know. All right, so the other thing is going to be parts availability for this bike. It is difficult to find aftermarket parts for this bike, especially in the performance department. Trying to find an exhaust, yeah, man, there's only like a couple out there. Kropovich makes one, Jester has one, and then trying to get it like tuned or flashed or anything like that, especially like a mail-in flash or whatever. Yeah, good luck with that. I've called all kinds of different people, and no one said they had anything for this bike. So it'd probably be just best, you know, for me to take it into a local tuner somewhere and try to get it dynoed and flashed and all that good stuff, and just go from there. Do a U-turn here. Gotta head back the other way. Oh, and if you guys haven't noticed, I do not live in Louisiana anymore. I'm currently out here in the great state of Georgia right now for the time being, and I love the roads, because I tell you what, the roads in Georgia, or excuse me, the roads in Louisiana absolutely suck. Do not miss that place one bit. All right guys, and my last dislike on this bike is going to be the maintenance. Holy cow, working on this thing is a pain in the ass, no doubt. I don't know if other KTM owners, whether you have a KTM dirt bike or you have an RC8 yourself, or even a Duke or something like that, can attest to that. But this thing, literally just to do basic things, like on my R6, all I had to do was undo a couple bolts, and then I could pull the tank up and, you know, access everything underneath it. No. To do anything at all with this tank, you have to completely take it off in order to get to the air box. And then getting inside the air box is a whole nother story. The throttle bodies sit right there, and it's kind of weird to, you know, if you need to change the spark plugs, whew, that's going to be a long job, because it's going to take you forever to take everything off. Really, so far, that's been really the only pain in the butt kind of thing with this bike when I got to access all that stuff. As far as taking the bearings off on the side, it's actually pretty easy, believe it or not. The R6 was a little bit harder to do. But yeah, right off the bat, man, when I started working on this thing, I was like, you got to be kidding me. This is ridiculous. But hey, if you have a KTM and you have the same issues when it comes to maintenance, let me know, because I just want to know, am I alone on this, or is it like a standard KTM thing? But yeah guys, I know I didn't add it in my my trio of likes earlier, but I actually do like the handling of this thing. Believe it or not, this thing feels like my R6, especially, you know, like in the turns and stuff like that when I dip in and everything. This bike is pretty lightweight. It's a little bit heavier than the R6, but once I drop this stock exhaust, I think we'll be in the same ballpark as far as weight goes. And that's pretty good for this bike being a 1000, you know, compared to a 600, because a lot of people used to say that 1000s were heavier than 600s, and that is true with the older bikes, but these newer 1000s are starting to be just as light as 600s. And I know it's probably hard to really hear the bike, you know, because I got the stock exhaust and everything, while we're moving along here. But once I get that new exhaust on here, I think it's going to sound really good. Because I had the same issues with my R6. You know, you could barely hear it, and then once I got that Acropovich exhaust on it, man, it sounded good. Yeah, that's my likes and dislikes on this bike. I know I haven't done a whole lot of content on it lately, but just so you guys are tracking, if you haven't seen my community post, I will be moving overseas for a little while, and it's gonna suck because I cannot bring my bike, so this bad boy is gonna be getting put up for a little bit. But hopefully while I'm over there, I can either purchase me another bike to bring you guys content on, just so I can continue riding, and then even still, you know, do some first rides and ride some other bikes and stuff like that while I'm over there. So be patient with me. I will still try to continue to bring you guys content, and you know, when I come back, you know, it's all game for this bad boy. You know, we're gonna get an exhaust and stuff thrown on it and start doing some more stuff with it, so stay tuned for that. And if you guys are new to the channel, be sure to subscribe, guys. Like I said before, we'll try to keep it coming, and if you're liking what you're seeing, give me a like, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.